Hello, my name is Kirioth, and today we're going to talk about the Primaris Marines again, Belisarius Call again, and I'm going to ask you a question. And the question today is, would you want Games Workshop to outright state that a new Primaris chapter has been created using the geneseed of a Traitor Legion? I don't know how to condense that down into a smaller, more sensible question. I just don't know how to phrase that any differently. Would you... Primaris chapters based off Traitor Legions, bad or good? Close enough. The thing is, it's not whether they actually do it that is the question of whether it's bad or good. It's not whether Call goes through with creating, a chapter based off the Death Guard or the Iron Warriors or whatever. It's whether or not Games Workshop should say, hey, this is what Call's done, and this is the chapter he's made. What a naughty chap. Look what he's done. Disgraceful. Look at all these Primaris Marines running around with Traitor geneseed. Would you actually want that? Or would you prefer, like me, and this is the position I'm at the moment, where I kind of wouldn't want them to state outright that that's happened. I think I'd much prefer it to remain slightly mysterious. Even when it seems, on the surface, to be blatantly obvious, I still prefer that kind of element of, oh, but are they? That kind of... that mystery that surrounds it. And the reason this has come up is because a chap by the name of Ben V94, I believe, on Reddit, put this picture that I'm about to show you on the subreddit and said, something's not quite right. Call! I'm assuming that's the way it was, when he wrote it, that's what he was thinking. Call! That kind of thing. And this is the image, and I love this. So, this is a nice picture of a Primaris Marine from the Sons of the Phoenix. Yeah. Their battle cry is "From the fires of war we rise." Their primogenitor is Rogel Dawn. I mean, that's probably bullshit. Let's be honest. I don't agree with that at all. Also, yeah, that would be the dog scratching. I apologise. As it says here, faithful to the Emperor and ritualistic in their battle cant, the Sons of the Phoenix pride themselves on plunging into the flames of battle. Their crusades are so impressive in spectacle, they pave the way for the Imperial Creed to spread, and hence are followed by a great many holy men and women. Now, there's a couple of things that stand out here, let's be honest. The first is the name, Sons of the Phoenix. The second is the battle cry, "From the fires of war we rise." The third is their crusades are so impressive in spectacle that they pave the way. And then there is the colour scheme itself, which, let's be honest, look at that lovely purple right there. That nice, vibrant purple there. Look at the gold. Excellent, shiny gold. A wonderful, crisp, clean white. Purity seals, as far as the eye can see. Really nicely done purity seals. They look real. Those are really well painted. I like those. To hell with ever doing that on every single bolter on a Primaris chapter. I especially like as well the candles. The candles are excellent. Just such a good touch there. I don't know where you get those from, what kit that's from, but I'm all aboard. That to me screams Emperor's Children. I would imagine to most people it screams Emperor's Children, and certainly to Ben V94 who put it on Reddit, it definitely screams Emperor's Children. And that's really cool. But I would argue that this screaming Emperor's Children, without it outright being stated that they are Emperor's Children, is way cooler, way more interesting, way more subtle, way more fun than just outright going, yes, these are the Sons of the Phoenix, and their primogenitor is Fulgrim, and they were made with Traitor geneseed. There's no real way to dramatise that, is the thing. That's the thing that I think a lot of this hinges on. There's no real way to make that shocking. Like when you just are given a fact of this is what this is, there you go. It's never got the same... It never has the same impact. It never has that same kind of, whoa, hang on, what's going on here? When something's just outright given to you of just, there you go, that's what the deal is, it doesn't hold quite the same level of, I guess, emotional connection that actually trying to work it out does. And I was thinking about this because I was like, on the one hand, the idea of Traitor Primaris is obviously cool. I like that idea. I like the idea that, you know, Call is finally just saying to himself, well, yes, we did lose half the legions to chaos, but is that actually anything to do with the geneseed? No, not really. There's a lot to do with where they were, you know, where the Primarchs landed, who they interacted with, what the influences were upon them. By a similar token, it can also depend on things like the home world that the Legion calls its own, where all of their, you know, where their recruits are got from, all of that kind of stuff. Like, would the Death Guard have turned had Mortarion not landed on Barbarous, ain't it? Probably not. I mean, unless he landed on an equally horrendous planet ruled over by an equally horrendous being, then maybe. But had he landed somewhere else, would the Death Guard have turned? Quite possibly not. I mean, there's, as Cole himself says in the Dark Imperium book, there's nothing really to suggest that the geneseed is at fault. It's the people who were leading the legions, and it was certain individuals in the legions themselves that caused the issue. And so why waste a resource? Why not create things like the Sons of the Phoenix, who are suspiciously Emperor's children? Like, why not use Iron Warriors, geneseed, and so on? And let's be honest, a lot of this, for me, is influenced by the existence of other chapters that have a similar kind of feeling to them. So, a good example, and you may have seen the tab before on the screen, is the Silver Skulls. Now, the Silver Skulls, likewise, not particularly subtle, in that they paint their armour like Iron Warriors, their symbol looks like the Iron Warriors, and they are descended from the Ultramarines, allegedly. Their second founding chapter, except are they really? They are successors of the Ultramarines. Apparently, they have no successor chapters of their own, and they claim Girly Man as their Primarch, which I find to be very difficult to believe, especially because we have an entire load of lore now for loyalist traitor Legion Marines. For instance, Warsmith Dantiarch. Just as an example, quite conceivably, a number of Iron Warriors could have decided not to turn traitor, and those that remained loyal could have been given a home, sort of, you know, by the Ultramarines, and given an identity that closely mimics the old one, but is not absolutely obvious. And of course, it being Gilliman and all of that, you just fudge the numbers. That's second founding. Just add them in. No, but Primarch, we don't recall actually doing anything to create this. No, shut your face. Shut your face. They're Ultramarines. This is second founding. Sort it out. Quite easy to do for someone in that position of power. And I like the fact that that's still the case. I like the fact that Silver Skulls, you know, this is a chapter that's been around for years and years and years. Like actual real years, not 40k years, although they have been around there as well. But it's still stuff like the founding is unconfirmed. They are the successor chapter of the Ultramarines, unconfirmed. Gilliman is the Primarch, it's unconfirmed. It's not outright stated. At no point is it like, yeah, so the Silver Skulls are absolutely a bunch of Iron Warriors that turned traitor and found their home amongst the Ultramarines, and then were separated off into their own chapter, which they now fight with on the side of the Imperium. No one's ever said that, because that takes away all of the fun. It takes all away the mystery. It takes away all of the stuff that makes you actually think about what the Space Marine chapters are and what they do. And there's loads of examples of this kind of thing. I kind of feel like the mystery of the Grey Knights was spoiled a little bit when we found out that they were founded off the Knight Errants. I'll be honest. I mean, on the one hand, it's cool to know, but on the other hand, it loses that mystery and kind of suggesting that this is going to be what happens, leaving that gap so there's a little bit of room for interpretation, I feel is kind of preferable most of the time, unless it revolves around a major plot point, which, unless it's the subject of their own book or something, it kind of not necessarily is. You know, it doesn't need to be a major thing. It can just be a sort of, this is what we reckon happened. But there's a bit of a gap in information between this year and this year, and so we're not 100% sure. It's most likely, but we're not sure. That to me always feels more interesting than just, yeah, that's who they are. And it's not just the Silver Skulls. Like, for instance, the Blood Ravens are rumoured to be descended from the Thousand Sons. I say rumoured, it's really heavily implied at this stage. The old Minotaurs, the really hideously ugly ones with the yellow and the red, they were, I think, supposed to be descended from the World Eaters, but the new Minotaurs that have got the nice bronze colour scheme and a few nice Forge World models, they are Iron Warriors, I think. I'm just going to check, hang on. No, yeah, they are. They're speculated to be descended from the Iron Warriors, I'm pretty sure. Same thing with Red Scorpions. They're supposed to be possible Thousand Sons. Or is it Emperor's Children? I think it might be Emperor's Children, thinking about it. Yeah, it is. It's Emperor's Children. There's quite a few. There's quite a few chapters where, you know, you get these hints as to where they're from, but you're never outright told. I would prefer it if it stayed that way. I think it's much better as a kind of... There's that thing of show, don't tell. I would much prefer to be shown hints, and I'd much prefer to be shown kind of coincidences that line up than just be outright told that that is what is the case. And that extends to the Primaris stuff. I would much prefer to have chapters that kind of have slight Death Guard or Night Lords stuff about them than it just being outright a case of Call going, yep, that's where they're from, that's who they're from, they're descended from that guy. It just loses it. It loses that story, you know, it loses that little tale that develops around a chapter and that gets sort of propagated by everyone else. Like, if a chapter is just successor of whoever, then that's it. Okay, well, they're just a successor of whoever. When a chapter has got like a strange heritage that doesn't make sense for what they are or who they do, people are far more interested in that, and I don't want us to lose that as Primaris stuff starts ramping up, and as more books come out, and as more stuff as to what Call is doing sort of becomes public knowledge. I don't want us to lose that kind of that mystery aspect to what makes a Space Marine chapter what it is. But I'm interested to hear what you think. Do you prefer the mystery approach? Do you prefer to just be told? Do you like the fact that people come together to try and figure this stuff out, or would you just prefer it to be a thing of, okay, this is what it is, this is what the deal is? Let me know in the comments below. As you know, I always read them. In the meantime, there's a load of stuff to click if you want to. You don't have to click it, it's up to you. Do it if you want. It's your life, live it how you like. And I will see you for the next video. Toodaloo.